Welcome to this new Flight Simulator update movie. It has been released, the 40th anniversary edition of Flight Simulator 2020. Or actually, Flight Simulator, right? Because it's the 40th anniversary of the Flight Sim after version 1.0, which I will say was released years ago. Now 40 years later, we're already at Microsoft Flight Simulator version 2020. The good thing is that it adds a lot of new things and it's being released in parallel to Sim update number 11, right? So Sim update number 11 was already beta for a few weeks without the new content, but it looks like that now the new content package is also ready, which brings in a lot of new aircraft, right? If we look at this image and I can click on it to enlarge it, you'll see that the good thing is that all those aircrafts are part of the standard delivery, right? So you don't need to have the deluxe or the premium deluxe versions. If you're having the standard edition, then you can already fly in the Grumman, the huge aircraft company, the Hercules, the Ryan, right? The Spirit of St. Louis, and there's the DC-3. Where is it here? The Douglas DC-3, the Airbus. Here's some helicopters, some gliders. In total, there should be 2 gliders being added. Here's another helicopter, and then we see the Wright Cycle Company. So all kind of cool stuff, right? So besides that, if we scroll down here, you can see that they have added 14 heliports, 15 glider airports, 7 famous historical aircrafts like the huge H4, which we just discussed, and 4 classic commercial airports. In addition to that, there are 24 classic missions from the franchise's past. So really looking forward to this. So let's have a look how we can get the update. Well, first of all, we need to open the store, right? In the store app, you will need to install the initial update. And then once you've done that, even if you're part of the beta program, you need to install another mandatory update, which is part of Sim update number 11. So if you click on the library, that's where you normally will find the updates. So what you can do is check if there are any updates. And if there are, they will probably list up here and you can install them. Might take a few minutes before it detects them. If it doesn't detect them, it means Flight Simulator is up to date and you can continue and start Flight Simulator itself. It doesn't mean that it does not, I would say, require an update, because in most cases what you will see is that it will install an additional update once the sim has started. And here you can see it's already here, right? So this is the one, it's pending currently. It will take some time because it also needs to download some other stuff like the Xbox Live, in-game experience and some other apps which I've installed on my machine. So let's give it a few minutes and then we can start it, right? So if we click on it, we can see some more details. You can see that the image is still not replaced, right? It still is the original image. It's not the 40th anniversary edition, I would say, add-on, but that's no problem. So let's give it some minutes. It should go really fast. I'm unlucky because I still need to install, let's say, some other updates, right? So should take, well, max 5-6 minutes, probably even faster. And we can also prioritize it, right? Since we don't want to wait, we're going to click on download now. And that will enforce, in most cases, that this one will take precedence above all the other updates which are being installed for the other apps. In this case, let's see if it works. Yeah, here you can see now it jumps to downloading, which is cool. So 400 megabytes for this one. You can see it goes pretty fast. Luckily, I've got a pretty quick internet connection, so that normally shouldn't take too much time. In the case where it goes slow, you might be trolled also by the other side, right? Which means in this case, Microsoft or Asobo. So keep that in mind also. So let's see. 208, download it. Come on, you can do it. Only a few more megabytes. The cool thing is if you hover over it, you can also see the speed, right? So 300, and that's the last jump up to the 398 number. So once that has been done, right, you can see it moves up to the bottom section, which means it has installed the update. So you can simply start and continue starting Flight Simulator. So let's do that. So the first thing you observe is that they changed this background, right? So they changed the window. Go away. So they changed this window with a new logo. I would say, not sure if it's probably it's an old, not a new aircraft, and also a new picture over here. So that's cool. So let's wait for the launching the game. Launching the game might take some time because it's synchronizing the settings, right? If you're playing both on Xbox and PC, it might take some more time because it syncs it. And then it starts the trailer movies. Here we go, the Xbox Game Studios logo. Followed, of course, by the Asobo logo. And then as last one, the Black Shark AI one. Now this is the part where we will probably get another prompt that will check for an update, and then will prompt us to say, hey, you need to install an update, right? That's this one. That's what they call the installation manager, which installs the mandatory content. I'm wondering if the other content also needs to be updated. So in this case, I'm gonna simply press update. And here's what you can see a difference, right? It will, I would say, have now 4 tiles, and that previously in the past, you could only install the standard content, and the premium deluxe needed to be installed via the marketplace. But in this case, we can simply press install and then give it a go. And since this will take some time, I will pause the video now because I don't want to let you wait until the 19 GB of data is being loaded, right? The other thing which you can see is already some tricks, right? So Logi Triben is being updated, and probably also several other, I would say, parts of Flight Simulator are being updated. So I will pause the recording, and once everything is done and we're at the, I would say, start of Flight Simulator, then I will continue recording, and then we can discuss further what has been changed. So downloading has completed. So let's have a look at what has changed. Well, the first thing which has changed, of course, is this one. This is the new one, and you can see that I would say there are some issues with the game servers currently. They're unreachable, probably because a lot of people are playing in the game, which sometimes results in that the servers are unreachable, and that will cause some issues if you want to play multiplayer. The good thing is, if we look to the different actions, right, we still have the Maverick here, but then we see the soaring over the Como Lake using a glider, and also the New York helicopter tour, which is also cool. Then when moving over to the flight training, that's also where you will find a lot of new stuff. So if you would have a look at the bottom, you will see the glider training. So the glider training, right, is, as the name already says, focus on, okay, how can you fly a glider, because that's completely different compared to flying one of the other aircrafts in Flight Simulator 2020. So if you want to use the glider and you're not familiar with it, it's definitely recommended to have a look at the glider training. Going back, we don't see much new things, right? Because the airliner and the bush trip were already there, as well as the IFR training. So that's it from the flight training perspective. Now if we go into the activities one, you will see a lot of new things here, right? So you can see that the notification here also shows new. Be careful with this, because in some cases it will show you also previously installed content if you did a reset of Flight Simulator, right? If you, for example, did a reinstall or something. So let's have a look if we see something here which is popping up. I doubt if these are new, because I think these were already part of previous world updates. So to be honest, I'm not so sure if they are really have a new, or they really added some new activities. I don't think so, to be honest, based on what I currently see. Maybe Lugano, could be. Doubting, right? I'm not 100% sure. Sestri, I think all of these were part of the world updates which were released in, let's say, the past, between brackets. Strong winds, also nothing new here as it looks like. I think these were already part of Flight Simulator. So in that case, let's go to the bush trips, right? Because maybe they've added something in the bush trips. although I'm also doubting if that's the case. The weird thing is that they said that they have added missions, but it could be that we still need to install them because, hey, keep in mind, right? That's one of the challenges in Flight Simulator. You might sometimes need to install some additional content. And that's what it looks like, because if you go hover over here, you will see that there's new content available. So if you click on the go to content, you will see that there are 2 updates. In this case, it does not have anything to do, to be honest, with the, I would say, recently installed update. So I'm really doubting if they added some new missions, although they might be hidden in one of these other sections. And that's where it is, right? On the 40th anniversary edition, you will find all the missions which they previously had in earlier versions of the simulator. So you will have the Meigs Airfield in Chicago, you will have the first flight at Kitty Hawk, you've got the Charles Lindbergh, New York to Paris, the Spruce Goose, the Lucian cargo run. And the cool thing is that they also added the version below it in which version this mission was originally implemented. So this one is for FSX, this one isn't even, I would say, described, but maybe it's from the first version of Flight Simulator. Going down the list, right, we see a lot of new things popping up, but also we see a helicopter again, right, the Grand Canyon Scenic Tour, 2004, the Hell Stretch, the Caribbean Landing from FSX, the Monsoon, Rome-Naples airline run from FSX. So enough new missions to start playing around with. And I would say that's definitely really cool that they added this content back to Flight Simulator. But now, of course, the most important piece. Where are those aircrafts? Well, if you want to see the aircrafts, you need to go to the world map, as most of you are probably familiar with. And then you can go to the aircraft selection. And let's see what Asobo has done. Well, first of all, here's the Airbus A310-300, which they promised to include. The aircraft is delivered with a total of 6 liveries, the white one, the Airbus livery of course, and then the Xbox Aviator Club, the normal Flight Simulator Aviator Club, and then of course the famous Orbit Airlines and World's Travel Lines. If we look to the rest of the menus, they are looking pretty, I would say, the same as all the other aircraft, so you see all the failures here, right? Also that depends of course on the aircraft, how much engines it has, and then we've got the customization, which isn't, I would say, it changed a lot, but of course if you want to make it more realistic, in this case you can change the wear and tear, right, which will make it harder for you to fly with. So going down the list, what do we see more? Well, we see the Airbuses, the H135, but those are not new because those were already part of Flight Simulator, because it's a community add-on, right? There are still community add-ons, so please, I would say, sponsor those, help improving those, because they're, I would say, still bringing out great tools. Then we've got the Bell model 407, right? The Bell 407. This is also a new one. If we go to deliveries, you can see that this one comes with a total of 8 liveries. Mostly, I would say, generic colors: red, yellow, red, tan, green, orange stripes, red stripes, and of course also the view, which is a little bit more limited. You can see that you can take passengers with you, you can take baggage with you, and then also of course the failures. Going back to the list, wrong button again. So let's see what we have more. The Boeings, not new. Here we've got a new one, the Curtiss GN4 Jenny. This is also a new aircraft, and this one comes with 3 liveries. I would say these ones are customized, right? Because I do think that they didn't even have those colors in the past, but that's cool, right? So this is the original livery, and these are the other additional liveries which they brought. There's a maximum flight of 2 hours and a maximum altitude of 6,500, so keep that in mind. I can see that the weight and balance is far less compared to the normal aircrafts or the other aircrafts, but you can see that it also has the failure system implemented, so really cool to see. Going down the list, and that's where we see them, the gliders. The gliders we've got 2 of them, right? They're coming with 3 liveries, white, and then the Aviators and the Xbox Aviators one, as well as the weights and the launch method. And the launch method is something specific for the, I would say, glider, right? So what you can do is you can either, I would say, fly or be pulled into the air by a Textron Aviation, right? The Cessna, or you could select the Asobo trucks, right? The ESW2B, the Europe glider winch, or the SkyDrive glider winch. And that's something we're gonna look at, I would say, in one of the future videos. So keep an eye on my channel for some new videos, which will be posted soon. Then the DG Aviation, another type with 3 liveries again. I'm not gonna pay too much attention to that one. Coming down the list, there you see the Douglas DC-3. The Douglas DC-3 comes with a total of, what is it? 9 liveries, right? So cool. You've got the World Travel Air livery, you've got the Metal Classic, the Emerald Harbor, the Red Yellow Cargo, the Direct Cargo, the Pure Metal, the Blue Stripe, and the white one, of course. Here you can see that you can change the payload, and here's what's really cool, because you can change the payload in the 4 seats row 1 up to 7, and that's I would say nice. Fuel also can be changed, and also as well as the pilot and the co-pilot. There's no specific cargo one as far as I can see. This one, of course, also has its own failures, right? Complete failure, fuel pump failure, fire. That's really cool, right? I'm really looking forward to, I would say, do that. Again, wrong button, right? I'm so enthusiastic, right? I really want to start flying. Then we've got the DC-3 Rally. And I do think that this one is also new, but I'm doubting. I'm not sure. Not sure if this one is new and if this one is Flight Simulator. Could potentially be, not 100% sure, but it looks like. Although I'm doubting. This is the original one, definitely. This one might be optional one. I don't remember it anymore. So it could be that you don't have this one if you install Flight Simulator. Going to the list, then we've got the Grumman. The Grumman, that was already announced, right? If we go to the liveries, you've got 3 liveries. The original livery, which already looks really cool. And then the Xbox Aviator and the Aviators Club. Also has some payload options for the pilot and the co-pilot and the tail wide, but nothing more than that. And of course the options for the failures. We've got the Gumball Cabri G2, that's the second helicopter. It only comes with 1 livery. It's also a smaller helicopter, right? You can only, I would say, adjust the pilot and the passenger. And of course also those failures in this menu. Hercules H4. Image looks a little bit weird, but that could be something which is, I would say, created wrong. I would say they could have, let's say, used a nicer picture for this one. So this one has a lot of engines, as you can see. You can add both pilot, co-pilot and crew. So this is definitely an aircraft which I'm gonna try, because I'm really looking forward to fly with the Hercules, one of the, I would say, cool aircrafts. Going down the list. No, they still didn't make this one, I would say, flyable, as far as I understood. But maybe they did, right? It looks like, or can't we still play? No, see, it's still grayed out, so that's a pity, right? Maybe they had a surprise for us that you could fly in this one, but unfortunately you still can't fly in it. So, scrolling down the list, then we're coming to the Ryan. The NIP Spirit of St. Louis comes in 2 liveries. It's hard to find the differences, but it's the year which is different. So that's something to keep in mind. You've got the weight, only the pilot, and of course the fuel, and the known, I would say, failure scenarios. Continuing the list. The Textrons. The Viking Airs, those are also new. The DHC2, is it new? Doubting, checking. I do think it's new, this one. It looks like. It comes with in a total of 10 liveries, including the Xbox and the Aviator one. With, I would say, a lot of cool liveries, including simple ones, but also some more complicated ones. As well as the Viking Air with the which you can use to land on the water. We're almost down to the list. We've got the Wright Flyer. The Wright Flyer, right, used by the Wright brothers, It's only, I would say, a pilot and of course also some failure scenarios. So looking forward to use that one. And I think that's the whole list, right? Because the rest is all, I would say, third party, which I bought or which I downloaded from the internet. So I would say a huge amount of aircrafts being added. I would say I'm really looking forward to fly with all those aircrafts. But that's, I would say, a little bit too much for this video. So here ends this video. I hope you liked it. In this video we looked at all the new things which came with, I would say, the 40th anniversary update for Flight Simulator 2020, as well as, of course, Sim update number 11, which also fixed a lot of issues. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you got questions or comments, then feel free to post in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.